From Caterpillars to Butterflies, Episode 17, Ways We Sabotage Ourselves.
Welcome to the From Caterpillars to Butterflies Personal Growth Podcast. Just like the caterpillar is destined to become a butterfly, you too are designed for a beautiful transformation. This is where you go to grow and transform your life. And now, here's your host, Certified Life Coach, Charlene Dior.
Hey, this is Charlene, your host of the From Caterpillars to Butterflies Personal Growth Podcast, where we talk about all things personal growth. We talk about all things that can help you grow and really master and conquer your life to experience all that it has to offer you. And it's my pleasure to come to you each week to share with you what I know. And thank you for joining me each week to learn what I have to share. And so today we're talking about self-sabotage. We're talking about ways that we sabotage ourselves, which, hoping that by putting a spotlight on some of these behaviors and habits can kind of be a bit of an aha moment for you. And you think, man, I really have kind of been sabotaging myself in some certain regards, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I just want to point out some specific ways that we sabotage ourselves. A lot of times, we like to think and talk about haters and think that haters are what's holding us back. It's these other people who have these ill intentions towards us. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of times we're the ones that hold ourselves back. We're the ones that sabotage ourselves. We are our own biggest haters. We are hating on ourselves and keeping us from really moving forward in the direction that we really want to go in. And this is really an issue that has been around for ages. In Romans 7:19, it says, "For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing." So we don't want to really do what we know that we should be doing to accomplish our dreams and really fulfilling our purpose and going after life with zest and earnestness. We know we need to do it, but we don't want to do it. And it's just an issue that's been going on for the ages. So I just want to, again, bring to light some specific behaviors that we have that tend to be some of our bigger sources of self-sabotage. So number one is really trying to bring in others. And I know that doesn't sound like it's self-sabotage, but it can be a lot of the times. So sometimes when we bring in others, we do it because we feel guilty, right? We feel guilty because we have more than someone else, or because we're going somewhere that they're not going. Or sometimes we do it because we don't have the confidence in ourselves to do it on our own. And so we think that we need other people to do it for us. Sometimes it's an expectation. Sometimes it's just because we don't believe in ourselves, or we don't believe that we deserve something in particular. And so we have to give it away in order to even have a piece of the pie, right? It's like I'm only good enough to have some of this pie, so let me give the rest away. But it's a form of self-sabotage because, one, other people are not going to care about your goals like you care about your goals. Other people are not going to care about your business like you care about your business. Other people are not going to care about your future and your vision the way that you care about it. And I don't care who they are. They're just not going to care as much as you care because it is yours. And so when you invite people in, a lot of times what happens is that the load gets too heavy to carry, right? So you have this bandwagon that you have to push up this hill in order to get the gold, right? And so you bring other people with you. You're like, look, come on, there's gold up here. I got the bandwagon. Y'all just come, right? Help me get this bandwagon up the hill. We can get the gold and we be coasting, right? But a lot of times what happens is that people come with you, but they sit in the wagon. They're not on the outside helping you get up the hill. They've come and they've jumped on the bandwagon and they have sit on it. And it's harder for you to go where you're going. My fitness coach had this really great quote on Facebook. She said, "I can want to see you eat, but I don't have to fix your plate." A lot of times we want to see people eat. We do. And we're willing to fix their plate for them. We're willing to bring them along with us because I want to see you eat. But when they go and sit in the bandwagon, you just can't carry them. It's impossible. It's a form of self-sabotage. Think of all the famous people, the rich athletes who have lost millions and millions of dollars trying to bring other people with them. People who don't have their dreams, people who don't have their financial habits, people who don't see what they see or want what they want, and then they end up losing it all. Why? Because they sabotage themselves. They sabotage themselves. I think of it often in terms of like the crab in the crab bucket. A lot of times we hear this story about, there's crabs in a bucket, and one of the crabs is like getting out, and the other crabs start pulling it down, right? And so we think of those crabs pulling the first crab down as being the haters, quote unquote, right? Those are the ones who don't want to see you do good. They don't want to see you get out the hood. You got to stay where they're staying. But see, I don't see it that way. I see it as one of the crabs is about to get out the bucket, and the other ones are like, man, take me with you. I'm coming too. And they grab onto his ankle, not because they're hating, not because they want to pull him down, because they want him to pull them up. But he buckles under the weight of them. You cannot carry other people. And as much as you cannot carry other people, and as much as we want to, as much as we want to see people eat, as much as we want to, have you ever had that happen? You believe in something so much, and I tend to be this way. I have like big vision, and I want to see myself be successful. I want to see others be successful, and you really want to just go to bat for them and help them, but they just aren't in it to win it like you're in it to win it, right? And so we have to really taper ourselves in that regard. When we want to see the best for other people, we have to train ourselves and position ourselves to like, I want to see you eat, but I will not fix your plate for you. I want you to have the best, but I can't decide for you. It's the same thing as that I want you to be healthy in your body, but I can't lose weight for you. Right? I can't go, brush your teeth for you every day. And so it's the same sort of thing. If you're bringing a lot of people in with you all the time, if you can't pursue a dream or a vision without someone else, or you're waiting for them to come along with you, you're sabotaging yourself, because either they're not going to come because they don't really want it. They're making up excuses and they're not really coming with you, and you're waiting and you're holding off, waiting on them because they say that they want to, but they don't really want to. Right? So you're stalling yourself, or they will come, but they won't add as much value as you add. They won't add as much hustle as you add. They're not going to invest as much money as you're going to invest, right? They're going to spend their extra money on boots, right? While you're spending your extra money on your vision. Don't be so in love with bringing your loved ones with you. Think of yourself. I'm not saying to not to share your blessings. We are blessed to share our blessings, but when you give away all your blessings, then you don't have any other blessings to share. And I often think that really it's a disservice to make it easy for other people, because if we all have our own gifts, and the Bible says that whatever gifts we have are the gifts that we should give. And so if someone's piggybacking off of your gift, if you're bringing someone along on your gift, on your vision, then it really takes them away from their own vision and their own gifts. So I think it's even a disservice to always try to bring everyone along with you. So really work around whatever that is. If it's feelings of guilt, heal the guilt. I think sometimes we try to run from these things. We try to run from these feelings. Don't run from it. Work to heal it. If it's lack of confidence in being able to do it for yourself, then heal that. But don't feel obliged to bring people along with you. Maybe it feels safer. Maybe you feel more comfortable. Maybe you feel, more worthy. But heal the feelings around that rather than to sabotage yourself. Okay? So the second way that I think that we sabotage ourselves is like not following through. How many times do we say that we want to do something? And I see this all the time, right? Like I'll have a free webinar. Sometimes I offer free clarity sessions for people who just really need a breakthrough to get some clarity in their life, and they'll sign up, they'll fill out the questionnaire, and then when the call comes, they won't show up. Why? Why aren't you showing up to what you said you wanted? You're sabotaging yourselves. How many times do you go and buy books? There's a stat that says only 10% of people will read a book from start to finish. And I forget exactly where I heard that stat from, but we buy books that we don't finish. We buy books that we sometimes don't even open, right? We RSVP for events that we won't show up to. We sign up to work with coaches that we won't finish working with. And all of that is just sabotaging ourselves and our own goals. And I know that sometimes we might go down a path and decide it's not the right path for us. I have not finished working with every coach that I've signed up to work with because I just didn't feel that it was the best use of my time and money. So I'm not saying that making a decision or making a pivot is a form of self-sabotage, but when you do it and you're just doing it because it's convenient, because you're lazy, because you are choosing the short term over the long term, the easy way out, or over the more disciplined long term way out, then that's when you have really crossed over into self-sabotage territory. So it really has to deal with why you're doing it. But if you're quitting, or if you're not showing up, or if you're not following through because you just don't feel like it, it's a form of self-sabotage. If you're waiting to feel like doing something, it's a form of self-sabotage because you direct your feelings. Your feelings don't direct you. You can't sit around waiting for your feelings to catch up with your goals. Move forward towards your goals first and let your feelings catch up. Sometimes I sit down to do a podcast and I don't really want to. I don't feel like it. Okay? But when I get here and I do it, I'm like, man, I'm killing this. Right? So if I'm always waiting on my feelings, then I'm just not going to be committed. I'm going to be sabotaging myself because this podcast is a long-term vision for me. So not following through, choosing the short term, because look, anything in life that's really worth it to you, whether it's your health, your education, you want to get a degree, you want to build a business, you want to really have a great relationship. None of these things are short-term goals. They're all long-term commitments. So if you're always choosing the short term, if you're always choosing the convenient thing, the fun thing to do, then you really can't accomplish some of the more bigger feats in life that there are to accomplish. So not following through, signing up, saying you want this, saying that you're going to take this class, get this degree, work with this coach, lose this weight, and then not following through, you're sabotaging yourself. A lack of confidence. I touched on this a little earlier, but not believing in yourself is one of the ways that you sabotage yourself. You're afraid to move forward. You're afraid to take a chance, or you're leaning on other people. So maybe you're not the one that's bringing other people along. Maybe you're the one that's just always trying to jump on someone else's bandwagon because you don't believe enough in yourself to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And so you'd rather go find the more established thing, the thing that doesn't require you to believe in yourself. Maybe you are just pretending that you don't even want it. You want it, but you don't believe in yourself, so you are pretending, you are downplaying what it is that you really want. Maybe you're making a ton of excuses about why you can't or why the timing is wrong. What it really boils down to is that you just don't believe in yourself. Not having that confidence or belief in yourself is one of the ways that we sabotage ourselves. There's a quote I saw online. I don't even know who said it, but it says, nothing holds you back more than your own insecurities. Nothing holds you back more than your own lack of self-confidence, your own lack of trust and faith in your own abilities. Nothing sabotages you and your goals and your dreams more than you not believing in yourself. Theodore Roosevelt said, believe you can and you are halfway there. Joan Wolfgang von Goethe, I probably totally butchered that name, says, Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. Believing in yourself is really the foundation for everything else that you really want. So a lack of confidence is sabotaging you. And it really isn't even the lack of confidence. It's the lack of confidence and the unwillingness to grow it, to do anything about it. Which brings me to my fourth way that we sabotage ourselves is by not growing. So you might not have confidence. You maybe have never built up a healthy level of self-confidence in the past. It does not mean that you can never do it. It does not mean that if you don't have it by now, you just will never have it. If you are someone who really focuses on the short term, it doesn't mean that you can't grow and stretch yourself to look further into the future. We talked about that a few weeks ago on expanding your vision. So none of these things are permanent issues, but when we're unwilling to grow, then that becomes one of our greatest sources of self-sabotage. Because if you don't have confidence in yourself for a specific reason, so maybe you don't think that you have the knowledge to do something and that's what's driving your lack of confidence, obviously growing your knowledge set will help you to increase your confidence, right? Or just doing small things over time. If you don't think that you can accomplish something and you just take little small bites over time, and then each time your confidence grows. But being unwilling to grow means that you really can't take advantage of any of the other opportunities available to you. Not being willing to grow is one of the ways that we sabotage ourselves. 42% of college graduates never read another book after college. That's crazy, right? Forgetting to grow, forgetting to learn, not being committed to it, not knowing the role that it plays. It's one of the ways that we sabotage ourselves. It's one of the ways that we prevent ourselves from moving forward. It's one of the ways that we keep ourselves stuck, not growing, not gaining the skills, the knowledge, the confidence, the wherewithal that you need in order to move forward. Doing half of a job is one of the ways that we sabotage ourselves. Sometimes we are like, we do enough just to say we did it. We do enough just to say we did it. And we don't really want to show up. And sometimes that's a combination of a lack of confidence and just really being short-term minded and not thinking for the future, but doing it and not doing it good enough, or doing it and giving up too soon, giving up halfway through because you didn't have the patience, or because you didn't have really healthy expectations around what was possible for you. But doing a half job, doing an okay job is one of the ways that we sabotage ourselves. Quitting too soon. I think of it, have you ever called someone and you were hoping that they didn't answer the phone? So you call the phone and you let it ring enough so that it will show up on their phone as a missed call, but hang up before they have a chance to answer. So then you can say, I called you, but you can avoid actually really showing up and having the conversation that you needed to have. You just show up a little bit and you say, well, I showed up a little bit and that should be enough, but it's not enough. It's not enough. So if you're going to go for it, if you're going to do it, then do it. But we sabotage ourselves by coming up short intentionally because we don't have the confidence, because we don't have the patience, because we don't have the clarity. We're all over the place. A few years ago, I had signed up for an online course or class, a free one, and I don't even know what it was about, but I know that the person who did it threw it together. She threw it together. And showing up just to say you showed up really is sometimes more damaging than just not even showing up, because she produced a very poor quality, quote unquote, training just to say she showed up. But it's not good enough to just show up half the way. It's not good enough just to do an okay job. you're sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging yourself. Come all the way. And lastly, we sabotage ourselves by talking down to ourselves, by telling ourselves that we're not good enough, by comparing ourselves to other people, by just really looking at the worst of who we are and not celebrating the best of who we are. So all the negative chatter, all the you're not good enoughs, all the you don't know what you're doings, like all of that self-talk, the negative self-talk is how we sabotage ourselves, because we cannot feed ourselves negative talk all the time and think that it's going to manifest into positive actions. It's really not. You're going to have a really hard time getting up the nerve to move forward, because when you get close, all of the rehearsals, the negative things that you've been rehearsing in your mind for weeks or months or years, they're going to start to play. They're going to start to replay in your mind. You're going to be standing at the start line, getting ready to run this marathon towards whatever vision you have, and all of this chatter is going to be in your head. And that might be one of the biggest reasons why we don't follow up or follow through with what we say we're going to do. It might be one of the biggest reasons why we do a half-baked job. It might be one of the reasons why we can't go forward without having a team or an entourage or business partners going with us, because we have been feeding ourselves so much negative chatter. We have to learn to talk positively to ourselves. And I tell people, look, go find someone who's done what you've wanted to do, who've started from where you started and ended where you want to end, because that will be the greatest source of helping you reprogram what you think is and isn't possible for yourself. Go find someone. You know, the Bible says God is not a respecter of peoples. If something can happen for them, it can happen for you too. So if you need the proof, if you need to go and find proof for yourself to help you improve your own self-esteem, your own self-chatter, go find the proof. Go find the proof. But regardless of what, it's important that we identify the ways that we sabotage ourselves so that we can overcome them, so that we can stop that, so that we can move forward. Because we can really go for whatever we want in life. We have to get out of our own way. Sometimes we are the only thing standing in our way. And when we can acknowledge that it's us and it's nobody else, then we can take the appropriate steps to get out of the way. And so I hope that this episode has planted some seeds for you, and that you kind of have some ideas of ways that you could be sabotaging yourself and ways that you can move forward past that.
And now, a moment of meditation. If you're not driving, cooking, or doing anything that requires your full attention, take a deep breath and close your eyes as Charlene leads you into an inspiring meditation.
One of the other ways that we sabotage ourselves is by being indecisive. We have a hard time confidently making decisions, with sticking with the decision that we've made and moving securely and expectantly in that direction. And a part of that is because we don't trust ourselves. A part of that is because we are expecting to know all the answers before we move forward. We're afraid of making a mistake or getting it wrong. And so indecisiveness is another way that we hold ourselves back. So I want to walk you through a visualization to help you really grow in your confidence and your ability to make sound decisions, knowing that you have your own best interests at heart. So your eyes should be closed, and I'll ask you to take another deep breath and we'll get started. I want you to imagine that there are two doors in front of you. There's door 1 and there's door 2. Take a deep breath. Make a decision and walk through one of the doors confidently. expectantly. Now see yourself standing in front of 3 doors. You have 3 decisions that you can make. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Make a decision. Walk through a door, trusting and believing in your own intuition and in your own ability to make great decisions for your life. Now see yourself standing in front of 4 doors. You have 4 decisions that you can choose from. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And choose a door. Choose a door to walk through. Walk through the door with your head held high, full of confidence, full of belief, full of knowing that you have your own best interest at heart. Now see yourself standing in front of 5 doors. You have 5 different options that you can take. Feel the confidence in knowing that you make great decisions for yourself and for your family and for your future. Take another deep breath in and exhale. And choose a door to walk through. Believing in yourself, trusting in your decision-making ability, full of confidence, full of expectancy and security, knowing that you make great decisions. On the count of 3, I want you to open your eyes, feeling confident in your ability to make decisions when you have choices. 1, 2, 3. Believe in that. You see, the danger of not making a decision, of not choosing a door, means that you stand in the hallway. You stand in the hallway, and you can't live life in the hallway. You have to choose a walkway. And when you're faced with decisions and you just really think that you can't choose, then visualize those 2 decisions in front of you. Visualize yourself making a choice confidently and walking through the door and not ever looking back, not second guessing it, not wondering and worrying, because what happens when we make a decision haphazardly, then we move forward haphazardly. You understand? If you're indecisive, either you just can't walk through the door, you stand in the hallway, or you reluctantly walk through the door and you don't make the best out of it, or you keep on looking back and you're stalling and you're not making the progress that you could because you're one foot's in the door and 1 foot's out the door. So really practice and see yourself making really strong, confident decisions in your future. Until next time, grow on purpose.
Thanks for listening to the From Caterpillars to Butterflies podcast, your one-stop shop for all things personal growth. For today's show notes and even more tools and resources to help you transform the life you have into the life you love, go to www.fromcaterpillarstobutterflies.com.